Good afternoon, a warm welcome to Nosey Roads and Helens for the semi-final of the Premiership, the Stones Premiership Trophy. Today, Saints are being led out by the matchday mascot, Graham Hayes. Graham's 5.5 years of age, he attends Eccleston Mere Primary School. He's out there with Saints captain Paul Groves. Certainly a big day for this lad. Saints looking to get into the Premiership final, the final hurdle before next week's encounter at Old Trafford with the winner of the Widnes and Warrington tie. Saints finishing runners-up in the Stones Bitter League Championship table. Excuse me. And with all things that have gone to plan with the top four, we would have been playing Wigan today, but Wigan got beat. Warrington beat them at Central Park. Bradford in fourth position, they move up to third, and that's how we get the purring today with this Saints-Bradford semi-final. Bradford not yet out on the pitch. Saints coming out quickly, warming up. I'll go through the Saints team for you now. Number 1, Paul Loughlin, takes the full-back position with Phil Beavers out for the rest of the season, picking up a thumb injury, which he's had a screw put in it, but he'll be fully fit for the next season. But Paul Loughlin at full-back. Barry Ledger at 2, Dave Tanner at 3, Mark Healy at 4, Les Quirk at 5, Mark Bailey at 6, Neil Holding at 7, Tony Burke 8, Paul Groves at 9, Stuart Evans 10, Paul Farber 11, Roy Haggerty at 12, Andy Platt at 13, substitutes Sean Allen at 14 and John Fieldhouse at 15. Saints out there looking forward to a Premiership final place at Old Trafford next week. We all remember in 1985 when Saints was in the final against Hull KR. We had Mel Meninga in our ranks that time, and a couple of good tries he scored, especially that interception one where he hurled 75 yards and touchdown with the international winger Clark. Couldn't make an inch on him in the run for the line. A tremendous performance from the Saints against Castleford last week in the first round of the Premiership here at Nosey Road. Give them a good whipping, well, a fortnight ago at Nosey Road. Give them a good whipping by 40 points to 8. 3 tries from Groves, a try from Quirk, Farber, Ledger and Elia, with Paul Loughlin's 2 goals and David Tanner with 4 goals. Certainly hit him in good style there. So Saints looking very sharp. Had a bad Easter period. Just 3 losses over the Easter period with the local derbies against Wigan and Widnes, and then losing to Leeds here. Just those late season inflictions, home defeat at the hands of Wigan and Leeds. But Saints looking very sharp and obviously waiting to get on with the game. Stuart Evans there, he was up for orders for a sim binning offence, but as you see reported in the local press, it's funny how Stuart Evans can get his recorded and other characters can just get it squashed. Well, just waiting for the Bradford side to come out now. Hopefully they have turned up. It's 1:03 and they're still not out on the pitch. The Saints there just limbering up. We used to have the Saints out at one spell doing movements, limbering up movements and running up and down in half of the field. One spell, well, they have turned up. Here's the Bradford side now. Number 1, Keith Mumby. 2, Phil Ford. 3, Steve McGowan. 4, Roger Simpson. 5, Richard Francis. 6, Heath Godfrey. 7, Paul Harkin. 8, Kelvin Skerritt. 9, Brian Noble. 10, Brendan Hill. 11, David Hobbs. 12, Carl Furbank. 13, Alan Clarkson. With 14, Neil Roebuck and 15, Paul Rhodes. Today's referee, Robin Whitfield. It's the 8th of May 1988, the semi-final of the Stones Bitter playoffs. place in a double header next week at Old Trafford, with both first and second division playoffs being contested. Should be better than last year. It's a Wigan and Warrington final last year, and a very poor final, but it was a bad day. Only one Joe Lydon try, that was a kick through, splitting the teams. It's Paul Harkin, the out centre field captain for Bradford, with Paul Groves. Just shaking hands there, Paul Harkin, with today's match day mascot. Referee Whitfield allows the mascot to toss the coin. And Saints are going to kick off, so Bradford have won the toss. Paul Harkin, one of the danger men. You've got to contain this fella Harkin and this powerful Brendan Hill. You've got to contain these players. Make life just a bit hard for them, and no doubt Saints will progress into the final next Sunday. So it's Neil Holding to kick off. The referee Whitfield starts the play. Holding with a grubber type kick. It's Harkin on the knees. It's quickly in there. Stuart Evans moved up very quickly, but it's Bradford now. Obviously, dark horses Bradford just come to the fore at the end of the season, had a good run in and finished in fourth position on equal points with Saints and Wigan, but Saints with the far superior points difference. But Bradford gets an early penalty after just 30 seconds. Well, Keith Mumby steps up, finds touch right on the halfway line. Brian Noble, ex-international hooker. Saints quickly in there at the tackle. Paul Farber, Tony Burke and Stuart Evans. But it's Bradford in possession. Harkin. He distributes it over to the right. Change of direction there. Steve McGowan, that is, the right centre. Bradford looking very keen, full of running. Early days yet. Driving upfield. Harkin again. Spreads it left to David Hobbs. Andy Platt and Stuart Evans. Bouncing down. Hobbs doesn't like it, but he's going to have to suffer it. Harkin. Grubbers to touch. Barry Ledger takes it well. Awkward bouncing ball. Ledger does well. He takes it. This left wing combination of Roger Simpson and Richard Francis bring him down. Matt Bailey at dummy half. On to Evans. Drives upfield, but the ball's wrenched from his hands. Play's allowed to go on. Richard Francis going crossfield. Runs into Haggerty and Bailey. Phil Ford coming infield, looking for action. Speedy Wigman, this Ford. Sidesteps off one. Ball comes back. And it looks as though Richard Francis drops on it. Brian Noble. Well, Phil Ford, I think it is, being penalised for Bradford for mouthing to the referee, when obviously he thought he should have had a penalty. Or I should have said Bradford, he thought Bradford should have had a penalty. But I think it was Phil Ford he was pointing to, obviously giving him a bit of back chat. And Saints are awarded the penalty. So Paul Loughlin from the 25. Hefty kick upfield, finds touch short of the halfway line. So it's Saints' first chance in possession, really. Tony Burke. Bradford in numbers. 3-4 man Bradford tacklers there. Well, offside, Harkin there. Onto Haggerty. Spreads it out, keeps it going. Quick hands, onto Mark Bailey. Running down this right wing. Brilliant break there. Quick hands, Haggerty holding onto Bailey. Saints putting the pressure on Mark Elia. Saints take it left. Obviously a quick score wanted. Paul Farber brings it inside to Neil Holding. Knocks it over to Roy Haggerty. Unlucky though, just losing his footing, Roy Haggerty. On the Bradford 25 now, and Saints putting the pressure on. Move it to the right. Andy Platt working on this right wing here. David Tanner acting half-back. Mark Bailey. Saints moving it to the left. Arkelia. Bradford moving very quickly. Steve McGowan, I think that is. Big lad. Pulls him down. Holding. Diagonal grubber. But Roger Simpson, no, I thought Roger Simpson was going to take it, but it went dead. The idea was right off Neil Holding. A diagonal grubber, just a little too deep. Neil Holding in his testimonial season, and certainly a Premiership final medal would certainly go down well. So Harkin and Ford out there on the 25. Obviously referee Whitfield having a word with Ford in the presence of Captain Harkin. Saints come up with the ball. Brendan Hill lost it. Andy Platt. Loughlin linking up on his right, but Platt well taken down. Farber for a quick play of the ball. On to Roy Haggerty, but the ball comes back. Play's allowed to go on. Paul Groves. Stuart Adams, he loses it. Comes back to Harkin, it tidies up. Saints move up very quickly. Groves and David Tanner. Bradford pegged 10 yards from their own line. Harkin gets up very slowly. I said he's the man you've got to watch. You've got to get in there and make sure he knows that he's tackled. Noble from dummy half, driving towards the 25. Bradford now, spreading it to the left. Haggerty, Platt and Burke quickly in. Noble at dummy half. Up to Hobbs for the kick upfield. Obviously trying to contain Saints in their own half. But Barry Ledger gets it after one bounce. Roger Simpson has hold of him, but Ledger there. It's Saints now. Mark Bailey straightens up, drives forward, goes to the left now. Brought down on the halfway line. Plenty of aggressive tackling from both sides. Roy Haggerty. Centre field, driving upfield. Brought down 10 yards short of the 25, but he must have lost the ball in that tackle and the knock-on being ruled. So it's a scrum down centre field, just outside the Bradford 25. It'd be Harkin to feed. First scrum of the match. Paul Harkin feeds the ball, the scrum turns. The referee not happy with it. The ball had gone in, then the scrum turned. So it has to be reformed. Bradford are penalised. Well, obviously going down too quickly at the scrum. Not allowing the both teams to pack together. So the first chance of points on the board, to get points on the board for Saints. From that penalty in the scrum, obviously foul play, because as you know from scrums, as a rule, the differential penalty, and you can't go for goal, but obviously foul play, headbutting, he must have been indicating referee Whitfield, so Paul Loughlin's chance to put Saints on the board. .30 yards out, just to the right of the posts. Loughlin taking his time, already kicked 104 this season. Looks good, yes. So Saints take a 2-0 lead with that Paul Loughlin penalty goal after just 7 minutes. Bradford to kick off. Nothing in it. After giving away a penalty. In a kickable position, and Paul Loughlin produced the goods. Hobbs kicks off. Ledger gets it on the full. Drives cross field. Bradford move up very quickly. Carl Furbank in there at the tackle. Paul Farber now for Saints. And Bradford forcing the Saints back, giving them no room to move at all. Plays it to himself, Paul Farber. Drives over the 25. Good play from Paul Farber. Well, Forward penalised, I think, for pushing the Bradford tacklers off. So Bradford gets yet another penalty. The ball's kicked into touch just inside the Saints 25. Brian Noble to start play again. Harkin, Bradford bring it to the left. Carl Furbank turns it inside, manages to get away. Mumby linking up. Heath Godfrey attacked in half-back for Bradford. Spreading it left, Roger Simpson. Good tackling there from Saints. Mark Bailey quickly round the legs there. Saints penalised for allegedly holding Bradford down in the tackle. Just can't agree with that decision. But Bradford with a chance to level the scores up. Paul Groves, the Saints captain, protesting vigorously. But you'll not get any joy out of Mr. Whitfield, I can assure you. So Hobbs with a chance to put points on the board for Bradford. Both cup finalists, Wigan and Halifax, knocked out in the first round by Warrington and Widnes. And not a very good display at Wembley, was it? If Wigan had been up against a decent team, they'd have been struggling a bit. Halifax certainly no power behind them, nobody buzzing in the middle in the half-back division. They certainly missed the half-back combination that they had at Wembley last year when they played Saints. So Hobbs, yes, doesn't make any mistake with that. So after 10 minutes, Hobbs with a penalty goal levels the scores up, 2 points each. Premiership trophy first introduced in the 74-75 season, after it being the Championship playoff, and then the one season it was called something else. The Club Championship, I think it was called, when the Saints were involved with Warrington, just going down by 13 points to 12 in that 1974 final. But since the 1974-75 season, Saints were in the first three finals, 75, 76 and 77, and then that tremendous one against KR in 85. Bradford man offside there at the scrum. The referee's right there and done nothing about it. But Neil Holding comes up with the ball. Saints quickly spread it to the right. Andy Platt feeds it on to David Tanner. Simpson and Kelvin Skerritt quickly in there for Bradford. But Andy Platt in possession again. Brought down on the Bradford 25. Groves, Haggerty. Groves coming through the loop. Haggerty tries to keep it going. Still elusive, Haggerty, still going. Brought down, just about 20 yards short of the Bradford line. And this time Bradford penalised for holding down. Groves takes a quick tap. Gives the dummy, just for the line. Into Tanner. He dives over. Oh, held up on his back. And Saints awarded a penalty. Quick clear from Groves there. Little hooker, Paul Groves. He tried to go for the line. He gave an outrageous dummy, typical, onto David Tanner, but he was held up on his back. So from the ensuing scrum, Bradford come up with the ball. They pegged in their own 25. And I felt that Bradford man, Andy Platt and Tony Burke quickly in there. Loose forward, that was Alan Clarkson. So Saints moving up very quickly. The ball still going, but the touch judge is on. Roger Simpson in possession. Referee Whitfield quickly in there. This near side touch judge on for something in the play. I think it's going to be a penalty to Saints. One of the Bradford men going in a little harsh on one of the Saints players. But the touch judge finally coming on after a report to referee Whitfield, and we'll see the outcome. Looks as though he's having a word there with one of the Bradford forwards, yes. Brendan Hale it was. and the penalty going Saints' way. Paul Laughlin stepping up for the added yardage. Yeah, he's going to have a go for goal. Sean Allen coming on as Sandman. 2 points each, just 14 minutes of this first half gone. Paul Laughlin going to have a go for goal. About 15 yards in from this near side touchline. 35 yards from the posts. Already kicked one in the 7th minute. And every chance now to put Saints further in the lead. Stepping up there, Paul Laughlin. Looks good from here. Yeah, super kick from Laughlin. He's certainly on song today. 2 out of 2. Paul Laughlin slots that penalty goal over. His 106th goal of the season. Extends Saints' lead to 4 points to 2. That penalty coming from Brendan Hill with an off-the-ball tackle on one of the Saints players. So Hobbs kicks off. Neil Holding takes it on the full. Waits for the runners. Barry Ledger comes up. First man in. Brought down right on the 25. Both Skerritts and Hill quickly in there at the tackle. Tony Burke steaming through. Groves at dummy half. Saints moving it to the left. Change of direction inside to Evans. Pushes man off. Looking for support. Onto Groves. Groves gives the dummy. Drives forward. Harkin brings him down. That looked like a trip, but play is allowed to go on. The ball back to Laughlin for the kick upfield. Too deep, yes. Bounces off the point of the ball, and Keith Mumby lets it go. So Bradford to restart with a 25-yard tap. Brian Noble there, he'll start play off for Bradford. Bradford just getting the players back on side. On to Kelvin Skerritt, first man in. I think it was Skerritt before that was penalised. I said it was Hill, but Bradford spreading it out. Harkin on to Clarkson. Bradford moving over to the right. McGowan. Harkin brings him down round the shoulder, and referee Whitfield penalises the Saints for what I would imagine he's interpreting as a high tackle. Well, he's pointing to his chest, but nothing wrong in that tackle in my opinion. The Bradford player there quickly up, but Bradford very lucky to get a penalty there. Mumby got a kick for further yardage. Barnes touch 10 yards short of the Saints 25. 17 minutes of the first half gone. 4 points to 2 in Saints' favour. First man in is Kelvin Skerritt. Noble attacked at half-back. Right on the Saints 25. So Bradford in possession. Harkin takes the ball inside to Skerritt on a diagonal run. Gains a valuable 10-15 yards. It's Bradford in the Saints 25, trailing by 2 points. Ford, Harkin, on to Furbank. Haggerty, one of the tacklers in there with Holding. Bring him to ground. Lost the ball. Well, he's lost the ball in that tackle. Saints are penalised. Roy Haggerty playing steam. And unfortunately, Haggerty is penalised for dissent. Bradford get a further 10 yards. Another ridiculous decision. Furbank lost the ball in his efforts to get up to play it. So Bradford awarded a penalty. Another penalty, I should say, a further 10 yards for Roy Haggerty dissent, and it gives Hobbs a chance now to level the scores up. Easy kick from Hobbs. Just 10 yards from the post and just to the right of centre. Hobbs there composing himself, shouldn't have any problem. Yes, bangs it over, that levels the scores up. So just 4 penalty goals we've had in this match. Two from each side, successfully converted. Hobbs there with his second of the afternoon. Banged it over, 4 points each. Roy Haggerty being spoken to by referee Whitfield. He's telling him, I'm in charge and my decision counts, and that's all there is to it. Well, a good variation from the kick-off there. Real high bouncing ball, and Roger Simpson there, he couldn't do anything about it. So it's a scrum down. 10 yards outside the Bradford 25. It's Harkin to feed for Bradford. One against the head had been nice here from Paul Groves. Harkin feeds, Bradford come up with the ball. Just cleaning up on the scrums, I think 3-2 at present, Bradford. But holding down very quickly, holding down on that loose ball from Alan Clarkson. Puts Saints back on the attack. Evans from a standing start, flicks it back, unlucky there. Haggerty tidies up, keeps in field. Simpson coming in, having a go at Haggerty. Tony Burke now. Solid performances from both these sides today, but Saints in possession. Andy Platt, Mark Bailey, Saints moving it left, Tanner onto Mark Elia, changing direction, comes in field. Good tackling from Bradford, hold him down there. But Saints move it left, Andy Platt looking for the gap, trying to scoot through. Last tackle of this set of 6 for Saints. Loughlin lofted up and under there, right on the spot. Hit Bradford Macwell. Hamilton, yes. Number 12 there, Furbank. It hit him. It went back towards his own line, but he held the Saints player back there in his attempts to go forward to regather that ball. It was an all-on situation, and Saints awarded the penalty. Referee Whitfield right on the spot, and a correct decision that time. Bad play there from Carl Furbank, one of about 5 brothers, all in the rugby league in Yorkshire. So Paul Loughlin now, right from the 25, just from the left of the posts. Chance to put Saints back in front. Bradford being urged back by referee Whitfield, but they definitely are 10 yards back there to allow Paul Loughlin this penalty conversion attempt. There he goes, Loughlin. Yes, no problem. 22 minutes now of this first half gone. And another penalty goal to Paul Loughlin. His third of the afternoon, his 107th of the season. 6 points to 4, Saints in the lead. Certainly a very defensive game, very little scoring chances. Saints there over the try line with David Tanner, but he was held up on his back after splendid work by Paul Groves. But Bradford kick off, Barry Ledger takes it. He's taken down centre field. Hobbs quickly in there, and they force Ledger back 10 yards from his own line. Neil Holding now. Brings it to Tony Burke. Did well there, Tony Burke. An awkward ball from Neil Holding there. Groves takes it left. Stuart Evans, first man in. Brought down on the 25. So Saints moving out of the danger area. Groves back to Loughlin for the kick up field. Good kick there, Mumby. Awkward kick, it beats Mumby. Super kick from Loughlin. A full 70-yard kick there. And Mumby had to turn round. Siding diagonal kick there from Loughlin, and finds touch about 5 to 10 yards from the Bradford try line. Pinpoint accuracy there from Paul Loughlin. It's Bradford head and ball. Now's the time for Paul Groves if he can take one against the head. But he's a wily old campaigner, Brian Noble, and he takes some beating in the pack. And the ball kicked out. Bradford come up with the ball. Bill Ford going round the back of the scrum, getting a bit bundled up, but Saints quickly regroup. Andy Platt and Faber, Paul Faber bring him down. Bradford moving it to the left. Solid tackling from the Saints here, but Bradford flicks the ball up. I think it's Mumby in possession. Noble. And the touch judge on again for something in the field of play. idea, but this near side touch judge will report into referee Whitfield. Stuart Evans being brought out. And Kelvin Skerritt, play acting, backs off away from Evans. Referee Whitfield now having a word with Skerritt, just pointing to him. But Bradford are awarded the penalty. Whatever this touch judge saw in that tackle there, certainly beyond us. Mumby now. Finds touch just 5 yards short of the halfway line. Noble to restart. Hill, first man in. Calls for a forward pass from the Popular side. It certainly did look that way from here. Players allowed to go on. Harkin on to Skerritt. Doesn't go anywhere. Solid Saints tackling. Tony Burke and Paul Farber bounce him to the ground. Noble from acting halfback. Well, bit of a bodge up there from Bradford, and Saints keep it moving. Quick play the ball. Haggerty, overlap here for Saints. Mark Bailey pushes one off over the halfway line. Quick play the ball wanted from David Tanner. Bradford all offside on the right there. Andy Platt pushes Furbank out of the way, streaks upfield. Brought down by Brendan Hill. Neil Oldie from acting halfback. Inside pass to Andy Platt. Flicks it back to Paul Farber. Saints certainly spreading it out. Approaching the Bradford 25. Leading by 6 points to 4. Well, a penalty there must be. Furbank again. And Furbank mouth into referee Whitfield. He's having a go again. Haggerty got penalised for less than that before. But he's not given Saints another 10 yards. But it's Furbank again. And Paul Loughlin with a chance to put Saints 4 points in the lead with a penalty awarded just outside the Bradford 25. Certainly a great defensive game. And Paul Loughlin has kicked one from this position earlier on. Game being halted while the Bradford player receives treatment. It's okay now. The clock's restarted. 6 points to 4 in Saints' favour. 14 minutes of this first half remaining. Paul Loughlin composing himself, already kicked 3 this afternoon. Looks good, yes. No problem for Loughlin there. Worth his weight in goal, Paul Loughlin. Certainly a valuable asset to Mal Riley's tour squad for the forthcoming Australasian tour. Paul Loughlin kicks his fourth penalty goal of the afternoon, extends Saints' lead to 4 points, 8 points to 4 now they're leading. Bradford kick-off, Barry Ledger does well, gets it in the dead ball area, keeps it in field, feeds on to David Tanner, runs crossfield but Hobbs comes in there quickly, bounces Tanner down, solid tackle from Hobbs, this Bradford second rower, ex-Oldham player. Saints allowed to play the ball finally. Saints in possession, still inside their own 25. Groves with the ball back to Loughlin for the kick up field. Is it going to go directly into touch? Yes. Well, unaccustomed, a bad kick there from Paul Loughlin. Must have just sliced it. It finds touch on the full in the Bradford half here on the Popular side, but the scrum's going to be formed 10 yards from the Saints line. That's where the kick originally was taken by Paul Loughlin. It's Bradford putting the pressure on now. Head and ball. Harkin to feed. One against the head there. What a time to take one against the head. Holding, bursting through. Loose forward, Alan Clarkson. Very vicious tackle there, but Saints still in possession. Clark, over up on the outside. Tanner. Brilliant play from Saints from 10 yards from their own line to 10 yards inside the Bradford half. Haggerty on the run. Beat it inside to Elia. Well, forward pass being ruled by referee Whitfield. So that just halts the Saints run of play. Brilliant play there, a good 50-yard inter-passing run from Saints from 10 yards from their own line and right into the Bradford half. Bradford come up with the heel. Taking it over there to the right. Loughlin quickly in there with the tackle. McGowan attacked in half-back on Hobbs. Back to McGowan. Right centre, but he's coming over to the left wing. He's brought down centre field. Stuart Evans. But Bradford now. Harkin spreading it left. Heath Godfrey. Back to Harkin. Over to the right. Clarkson showing the ball. No way through for him. Groves and Farber in there. Noble at dummy half. Scooting through. Brought down right on the halfway. Tony Burke quickly in there, but it's Bradford bringing it left. Clarkson, lefted pass. Did well to take it. Skerritt. Still out of the tackle, Skerritt. Just Hill there overrunning him, I think it was, yes. Did well there, Skerritt. Good run from this lad. Bradford taking it to the right. Harkin. Change of direction. Shows the ball. Swings it on to Simpson. Fancy stuff there from Harkin, but Simpson couldn't catch it. David Tanner comes up with it. Francis and Simpson try to bundle Barry Ledger into touch. Stuart Evans driving upfield, powerhouse forward. Brendan Hill and Brian Noble quickly in there at the tackle. Saints moving it to the left. Farber linking up there. Feeds inside to David, to Mark Bailey. 10 minutes remaining of this first half. 8 points to 4 in Saints' favour. Mark Healy attacked in half-back. The ball back to Loughlin. Stretches his legs, runs it, Loughlin. Spins the ball left. Roy Haggerty. Looking for support. Inside to Stuart Evans. Lefty pass over to Barry Ledger. But placed up centre field. Forward pass being ruled. Well, I don't know where he comes up with that. Watford win the ball. Heath Godfrey at dummy half. On to Clarkson over there, lurking on the Bradford right wing. But Saints penalised for offside. Well, he took his time about that decision, didn't he? But Bradford had awarded the penalty. That's 8 penalties to 6, I make it, in this first half. For Bradford. 10 yards from the Saints line now. Hill coming in, first receiver. Saints will have to hold out firm. They're winning by 8 points to 4, but it's Bradford on the attack. Heath Godfrey, short ball to Skerritt. Saints forced them back. Haggerty quickly in at the tackle there with Andy Platt. Skerritt plays the ball. Noble, Harkin tries to grub her through. The referee's down as well, but Saints are in possession. I don't think he's got on the ball, but Paul Loughlin very bravely down on that ball. Bradford lying up. The referee Whitfield not keeping them onside. The Saints pegged in their own 25. Mark Bailey sees the gap, tries to scoot through, but he's brought down. Neil Holding grubbers for touch. Good kick from Holding. Brilliant kick. Bradford lying up, and that's the way to do them. You've got to see the gaps. He kicked from in his own 25 and finds touch 10 yards inside the Bradford half. 7 minutes of the first half remaining. Saints with an 8 points to 4 lead. A tremendous cup game here at Nosey Road. So it's Harkin to feed. Bradford cleaning up on the scrums. 6 to 2, I'll make it. But Harkin penalised. Feeding the scrum. So it's Saints back on the attack. The tap restart. Neil Holding. He's going to gain added yardage. No, yes, they're going to gain the added yardage. Holding kicks further downfield. Finds touch on the Bradford 25. Groves now. Uses Evans as the foil and Saints spread it to the left. Farber, Bailey, Haggerty coming through, but he kicks it on. The ball going dead. Unlucky there. Quick play from Saints. Tried to bamboozle the Bradford defence. They took it over to the left, but it came through to Roy Haggerty. He couldn't grab it, but he kicked it. The ball went dead, and Bradford restart with a 25-yard tap. Phil Ford, speed merchant, feeds it inside. Roger Simpson. Brought down 10 yards short of the halfway. Noble at dummy half. On to Harkin. He's the hub. Feeds it inside there to Skerritt. He did well. It bounced off his head, I think, and he gathered it. Noble again. Bradford onto Harkin. Loop movement with Noble. Inside to Clarkson. Onto Hill, I think that is now. Keeps the ball going onto Furbank. Well, you'll have to watch it. Furbank is a liability. Probably about 2 or 3 penalties, and he's having a go at Andy Platt there. Clarkson, left to Phil Ford. Lurking over here on the left wing. Obviously looking for some action, thinking that he can produce the goods that Bradford needs across the Saints line. Clarkson, Haggerty, Farber and Evans take him down. The last tackle now of this set of 6 for Bradford. Hobbs speeds it left to Mumby. Drives upfield, feeds it inside to Heath Godfrey. Blocked it past to McGowan. A mile forward. Well, we can let that go is beyond my comprehension. But McGowan finishes off on the last tackle there. Bradford kept it alive. They spread it over to the right into passing there, centre field. And McGowan touches down after the last 2 passes were considerably forward. So Bradford level the scores up at 8 points each. With that McGowan try, 4 minutes short of the interval, and a chance now for Hobbs to put Bradford in the lead for the first time in this match. They've been on level terms twice before, come back with penalty goals. That's the first try of the match. But Bradford, quick play, enterprising play. They spread it to the right. Hobbs lines up. Yes, kicks the goal. So Bradford in the lead by 10 points to 8. 2 blatant forward passes in that movement from Bradford. Referee Whitfield right up there, but he chose to ignore them. And Saints just trailing now by 10 points to 8. Paul Loughlin kicks off. Awkward ball taken there on the Bradford right wing. Solid tackle there, super tackle. Andy Platt, must be Andy Platt. No, it's not. Mark Bailey it was, him with the shoulder. Very reminiscent of Andy Platt's style there. Furbank. Farber bangs him down. Solid tackle from Farber. Well, Furbank is a liability. I was just saying before, he's a liability. And Furbank swings out and knocks Paul Farber to the ground. Whitfield on the job, he urges Farber to get up, and then he didn't feel the force of that punch. But there's no way this man should be on this pitch. Definitely at least 10 minutes in. Being spoken to the Furbank by referee Whitfield. The penalty, just a penalty awarded to the Saints, and nothing further. Another bum decision from referee Whitfield. Paul Groves there, remonstrating with referee Whitfield. He is the captain, and he should question the decisions. But a bad decision there, referee Whitfield. Furbank blatantly punching Paul Farber, irrespective of whether he caught him full or whatever. The intention was there, and Furbank being penalised. Paul Loughlin, penalty goal attempt to level it up from the Saints. 2 minutes before the half-time hooter. Loughlin lining up. Plenty of hush from this crowd. Looks good. No, takes it to the left of the posts. Well, that's the first goal that's been missed this afternoon. First penalty goal attempt. So Bradford to drop out from the 25. Saints have to hit back now before half-time, just trailing by 2 points. Time wasting by the Bradford outfit. Mumby finally drops out. Lofted kick, Paul Loughlin well under it. Takes it to the left. Takes the tattle. Brought down 5 yards short of the halfway line. Paul Groves attacked in half-back to put Saints on the attack. Saints moving it left. Paul Farber. Still going, pushes one tattler off, but drives into the Bradford half. Just get it in the tattle. Obviously niggly tactics from this Bradford outfit. Roy Haggerty takes him on, feeds inside to Tony Burke. Burbank in again, right in front of the referee. But Bradford come up with the ball. Brendan Hill takes it off Tony Burke, but two men there and Burbank giving some hassle. Bradford in possession. Hobbs. So Bradford now, Harkin spreading it left. Burbank, Haggerty in there, Tanner. But he puts the ball out, Burbank. Noble goes to gather it, he knocks on. It's a scrum down just inside the Saints half. Right on half time now, very little time remaining in this first half. Neil holding to feed. Bradford tidying up on the scrums. It comes out Bradford side, all on Neil. Mark Bailey chasing, but Mumby goes down on it. There's the half-time hooter. The half-time score at Nosey Road is Bradford Northern 10, St Helens 8. 6 points coming from Paul Lachlan penalty goals, and that very debatable a Bradford try by McGowan converted by Hobbs in the 35th minute. So at half time, Saints trail by 8 points to 10. We're back with you now at Nosey Road for this second half of the Stones Bitter Championship semi-final playoffs. Saints versus Bradford. No substitutions for the Saints in the first half or at half-time. Saints first back on the pitch. The score at half-time is 8 points to St Helens, 10 points to Bradford. A very hotly disputed try from Bradford in the 35th minute of this first half, with McGowan finally going over after what seems to be two outrageous forward passes in the movement. It was on the sixth tackle for Bradford. But they kept the ball flowing. But Bradford here, Bradford out on the pitch. Resumption of the second half. No substitutions for Bradford in the first half, and as far as I can see, nothing at half time. So we obviously look forward to an exciting second half. 10 points to 8, Bradford in the lead, and then the other semi-final, it's Widnes just leading Warrington by 12 points to 10. Bradford kick off. David Tanner takes the ball, runs right into Furbank again. Well, he's a liability, this man. I don't know how long he'll stay on the pitch for, but Tony Burke now in possession. Hobbs brings him down. Saints bringing it blindside. Paul Farbert runs right into McGowan. Groves attacked in half-back. On to Neil Holding. Saints moving it right. Holding chips through. Mark Elia chasing the ball. Phil Ford gathers it. Andy Platt comes across, but Elia grabs him. Want to know if he's going to release it forward to Mumby, but Mark Bailey was through there like a shot. On to Clarkson now. Saints tackling very firm as it has been in the first half. A real defensive tie. Hill. Evans and Burke in there with Farber, bounce him to the ground. He's not done much in this first half, Hill, but he's always a dangerous forward. And Bradford in possession, bringing it to the right. Skerritt going on his hands and knees, finally brought down by Groves. Noble takes it left to Hobbs. Kicks it upfield, hefty kick from Hobbs. Bounces nicely for Paul Lachlan. Ledger comes in field. Still going Paul Lachlan, brought down on the 25. Mark Bailey stepping up at the dummy half. Brings it to the left. Stuart Evans. Bounces through and Skerritt goes in at him. Yes, penalised there. Skerritt shows it intent. He was looked as though he was going to strike out at Stuart Evans. Definitely in a kicking position there. So Saints with the first penalty of this second half. They find touch, 5 yards inside the Bradford half. Here's the wall, and Paul Groves to start. Into the wall. The ball goes back. Tony Burke comes up with it. Quick play from Burke. Nobody attacks in half back. Saints very lucky there. But Groves now in possession. Comes forward. Hobbs goes in there. Slings one in. Definitely looked like a thump that from Hobbs. But Saints quickly bring it blindside. Haggerty running in at full steam into Clarkson. Feeds the ball out to Mark Bailey. But keeps it alive. Back to Tony Burke. Solid tackling from Bradford, but power play from Saints, driving the ball upfield. Groves again, Saints bring it to the left. Andy Platt feeds it inside. Paul Loughlin linking up. Keeps it going further. Holding on his outside, but he couldn't release. Holding there from dummy half. Out to Mark Bailey. Gives the dummy, but he has to take the tackle. Last tackle for Saints now. And 10 yards from the Bradford line. Saints going to spread it to the left. Holding, diagonal kick upfield. Super kick from Holding. Quick! Elliott touches down. Offside, I think. No, he's ruled a 25-yard tap restart. For Bradford. Offside, yes, I think he's given as the ball was touched down behind the Bradford line. Saints very unlucky there. Good kick from Neil Holding on the last tackle. It's Bradford, Clarkson, Andy Platt, Elliott and Burke in there. Finally stop his gallop. Bradford from dummy half, come cross field, and Les Quirk there getting in on the action. Not been involved much in this first half. Back to Hobbs, kick upfield, in on the full from Hobbs, so there's going to be a scrum down 10 yards inside the Bradford half from the point where the ball was kicked. Hobbs kicking the ball directly into touch. It's head and ball. It's going to be Neil Holding to feed. Referee Whitfield have to tighten up on the second half. Holding blindside, goes up the touchline, goes inside, outside to Andy Platt, yes! Andy Platt going in, brilliant play from the Saints. They hit back in good style in the 5th minute of the second half. From the scrum there, Neil Holding won it. He come round the blind side. Here's Les Quirk as the flyer. He shot the dummy. He skated through, and Quirk and Platt on his outside. Platt took the ball, and a touchdown for Saints' first try in today's match, and a crucial try at that. Andy Platt going in for his 12th try of the season. Brilliant play there from Saints, from the base of the scrum. Neil Holding come up with the ball, came on the blind side, saw the gap, heard up this touchline. Les Quirk on his outside, Andy Platt loomed up, Platt got the ball, and he touched it 10 yards from the post. Paul Loughlin converts, and Saints are back in business. 14 points to 10, they take the lead. Bradford making a substitution now with number 14 Roebuck coming on for number 13 Clarkson. A quick substitution there from the Bradford outfit. Only 5 minutes gone of the second half. Saints hitting back in good style there, a super try there. Neil Holding looking sharp as attack again up the blind side, and Andy Platt finishing off. So it's David Hobbs kicking off. Taken in the end goal area by David Tanner. Straightens up, drives towards the right wing. Unlucky there, Tanner. Nearly broke through. Andy Platt at dummy half. Going blindside. Bradford penalised for offside there at the line out. So Saints awarded the penalty. And no doubt a further yardage from the Saints. As Paul Loughlin will step up to kick the ball upfield to that main stand side. Touch, finds touch, 10 yards inside the Bradford half. It's Saints in possession, Paul Groves to restart. Into the wall again. Harbour comes away with it. Groves comes up with it, but a forward pass. Very unlucky there, Paul Farber had that ball with one hand, looking to spread it out. The Bradford man had him, and the ball going forward. So it's in possession there. They lost possession. A scrum down with a Bradford head and ball on the halfway line. Harkin feeds the ball into the scrum, and Bradford come up with it. Mumby linking up. Saints leading by 14 points to 10. Roebuck feeds it onto Heath Godfrey. Over here to McGowan. Big lad, this McGowan. Saints Mark Elia, Haggerty and Lesquirk try to bundle him into touch, but it's Phil Ford at the dummy half position. On to Brendan Hill. Pushes one off. Tries to feed round Hill. Good forward, this lad. You've got to close him down. Hill and Harkin there. Harkin goes for the dummy. He's on to Roebuck, who in turn takes it left to Furbank. Very unlucky there. All on, surely. Ledger played it on, the Bradford man got it back, and then the Saints player in at the scrum. Paul Loughlin steps up for the penalty. Gains a further 15 yards. And Saints restart with play the ball midway between the halfway and the Bradford 25. Tony Burke, diagonal run, looking to release, but Skerritt, one of the tacklers in there for Bradford. Groves, Stuart Evans coming from deep. Good tackle there from Hobbs, brings him down. Groves now, takes it right to Mark Bailey. Neil Holding, short ball to Haggerty. The ball goes down and goes into touch. Just knocking on the Roy Haggerty, but the ball hit someone's foot, went into touch. A scrum down with the Bradford head and ball, just 10 yards outside the Bradford 25. Harkin feeds and Bradford come up with the ball this time. Just taking the scrums 2-1. Super tackling there, quickly up there. David Tanner, Bradford play it quickly. Mumby in the line. International fullback Mumby. Heath Godfrey. Harkin takes it left to Roebuck. Loses the ball, he regathers it, but the knock-on being ruled. Well, when we played Bradford in the Premiership, we played them last year in the first round. We won handsomely by 46 points to 14. The previous times we played Bradford was in 80-81 season. That was in the first round. That was away after Bradford had won the league championship. And Saints won by 14 points to 12. A really hard game there. Also in the first round, 79-80. At Bradford, we was annihilated by 30 points to 0. One we want to remember. And before that, when it was a two-leg job in 77-78, we just lost out on the total combination score. Mark Elia now, hurling away, outpacing the Bradford defence. Keeps the ball going, Evans takes it well, pushes Harkin, still going Evans. Well, the touch judge here, he was going to go on Roebuck, going in there with nothing short, but a forearm smash on Evans. And the touch judge, he couldn't make his mind up whether to go on. He finally did so, but Roebuck being spoken to, and Saints going to be awarded a penalty. Also in the first season, the 74-75 season, when this Premiership trophy was introduced, Saints played Bradford in the second round, where we drew away at Todsville 5 points each, and then won the replay here at Nosey Road 14 points to 5. So obviously Saints and Bradford quite up there in the top 8 in the regular style. But it's Paul Loughlin, already kicked 5 today. It's 10 yards in, it's just over 25 yards out. Increased Saints lead to 6 points if he gets this. No, takes it across the face of the goal, but it does go dead. Well, that's going to be a drop out. That's going to be a drop out from underneath the sticks. The ball, a mix-up there between Francis and Simpson, and the ball going dead off for one of those players. So Saints are going to regain possession. A drop out from between the Bradford sticks. Keith Mumby kicks out, Tanner takes it. Platt on his outside, but Tanner loses the ball, but Andy Platt, he does well. He follows up, he gets the ball, so Bradford don't get possession straight away. It's definitely a scrum down, 10 yards inside, just outside, I beg your pardon, the Bradford 25. Well, in the league this season at Nosey Road, we played when we played Bradford, we won by 38 points to 10. It was a different kettle of fish in the match at Oddswell, but we did win by 13 points to 12. But it was that man Harkin again. He was up and about, and he's certainly buzzing round, and Saints only found the feet when Harkin went off. But David Tanner, I think it is, over there on the far side, he went through he lost the ball in the tackle, a stretcher being called for straight away, so Saints forced to make a substitution with Sean Allen coming on to replace David Tanner. David Tanner, one of Saints' joint goal kickers. He's had a good season since his signing from Fyle Rugby Union Club, an early season signing. He's scored 45 goals and scored 5 tries. Played in all the back positions, but unfortunately there has to be stretchered off. Sympathetic applause from this large crowd here at Nosey Road, but the scrum down now, 10 yards outside the Bradford 25. Bradford head and ball, Bradford come up with it. Sean Allen coming on, very worthwhile deputy. Sean Allen has played in virtually every position for Saints. He was in the hooking role at Hull FC the other week, and he's played standoff, scrum half, and now he'll be in the centre. He is a loose forward by rights, but most of his rugby's been in the centre. But Bradford quickly played to the left. Furbank brought down just inside the Saints half. Heath Godfrey onto Roebuck, lofted pass over to Skerritt. Tried to get Bradford going. He passes the ball out to Ford. He does well to pick it up, Phil Ford. Bobbing and weaving, doing his Jack in the Box act. Finally bundled to ground in the position where he started from. Roebuck now for Bradford, substitute back. Saints solid tackling. Burke, Farber and Groves quickly in there, snuff him out. Saints leading by 14 points to 10. 15 minutes of this second half gone. Bradford taking it to the left. Brendan Hill brought down right on the halfway line. Heath Godfrey at acting half-back. Last tackle, Bradford kick upfield. Ledger did well, he kept it in with his foot. Loughlin tidies up and comes crossfield. Diagonal run from Loughlin. Brought down on the 25. Hobbs and Simpson bring him to a halt. Ledger attacked in half-back. Runs right into Hobbs again. Groves onto Stuart Evans, driving upfield. Hobbs and Noble bring him down. Finally allowed to play the ball, and Saints bring it blindside. Roy Haggerty sees the gap, straightens up, drives upfield. Been very quiet this afternoon, Roy Haggerty, but he plays it to himself. Makes it onto Paul Groves, inside to Mark Bailey, onto Andy Platt, but the ball goes down. Bradford on the drop on the loose ball. Roebuck it is, Neil Roebuck. Mumby linking up with his backs. And it's going into the second half, a 4th minute Andy Platt try converted by Paul Loughlin, but Saints back in the lead at 14 points to 10 after trailing 10 points to 8 at half time. Bradford there, short ball. Well, this touch judge here, I don't know what he's playing at all. The incident's been gone ages ago, and then he's just decided to come on. Perhaps somebody just turned his on-off switch on, and he's just decided to come on at the last minute. The referee Whitfield out there in the centre. A Bradford player down to the left of centre injured. I think referee Whitfield sorted it out. But the Bradford player still down, injured 10 yards inside the Bradford half. Looks like Paul Harkin. Yes, it is, it's Paul Harkin. Well, Harkin receiving treatment. Mumby with the ball. Kick of a touch for that penalty award to Bradford. He finds touch. Does Mumby just 10 yards short of the Saints 25. Kelvin Skerritt, first man in. Powerful forward. Both these prop forwards for Bradford, Skerritt and Hill, very powerful chaps. There's Hill, the other prop. 20 yards now from the Saints try line. Bradford in possession and Bradford putting pressure on. The first time they've been in the Saints 25 in the second half. Hobbs coming through and diagonal run. Tries to flick it up, but Andy Platt, cool as cucumber Platt, comes in there and gathers that ball. Puts Saints back in the driving seat. Paul Farber feeds it inside to Tony Burke. Pushes forward up. Roebuck in again. Looks like a swinging arm. But Saints in possession. Bradford moving up very quickly. Mark Elia flicks it up there. Well taken by Mark Bailey. Still going Bailey. Only a youngster is Mark Bailey, but certainly one for the future. Groves from back to half-back. Feeds it left to Neil Holding. Sees the gap, goes up centre field. Andy Platt. Sean Allen on his right. Platt sees the gap. Ducks through. Brought down 5 yards inside the Bradford half. Saints certainly putting it together now. Into passing rugby from Saints. Neil Holding. Crossfield grubber, but it's too deep. Unlucky there, Neil Holding. So all the Bradford side moved up. Tried to get it into touch, but he must have sliced it and the ball going dead. So Bradford going to restart with a 25-yard tap. Halfway through the second half. 14 points to 10 in Saints' favour. Just 20 minutes to go. And certainly a great game. Heath Godfrey for Bradford. Right on his own 25 line. Harkin takes it left. Onto Hill. Taking down there, solid tackle. Andy Platt in with the shoulder and forces him down. Noble coming through. Opposite number, Paul Groves takes him down. Roebuck at dummy half for Bradford. Bradford moving to the right. Harkin. Les Quirk takes it comfortably. Not very little to do, Les Quirk, but it drives upfield. Very few touches in this game. Paul Farber at dummy half, going on his own. Drives upfield, Farber, looking for support. On to Quirk again. Harkin and Skerritt bring him down. Mark Elia at dummy half. Another score is essential for Saints. Loose ball there from Elia, but tidied up by Bailey. Saints take it to the right. Andy Platt. 10 yards inside the Bradford half now. Neil Holding. Mark Bailey. Roy Haggerty. Quick hands to Farber. Overlap on the left. Mark Elia into the gap. Oh, good cover defence by Bradford. McGowan, I think it is. Oh, Mumby it was. Come across there when Elia looked through. But it's Saints putting the pressure on now. A try essentially from Saints. Neil Holding changing direction. Onto Mark Bailey. Short ball to Loughlin. Keeps it going out to Les Quirk. Forward pass ruled, I think, there from referee Whitfield. It's amazing, isn't it? Well back there, near the Bradford line. You can see a forward pass from there, but he can't make one out when he's right up in the field of play in the first half when McGowan went over for the try with two ridiculous forward passes. But Bradford now making a substitution. Number 15, Paul Rhodes, coming on for number 6, Heath Godfrey. It's obviously a reshuffle in the Bradford side. A scrum down, 10 yards inside the Bradford 25. Harkin feeds the ball, and I think he's been penalised for feeding. No. The referee Whitfield wants the scrum to go down again. Bradford just tidying up on the clean scrums by 3-2. But Saints come up with that ball there. Loughlin ran, linking up, switching his legs, going for the line. Brought down 2 yards short. Saints with the tails on, quick play of the ball, try essential here. Roy Haggerty. Still in possession, another 4 tackles to make it count. Mark Elia. Bradford tackling, holding out firm. The defence certainly holding firm for Bradford. Pushing Saints back. Groves gives the dummy, loses the ball. Bradford come up with it. Very unlucky there, Paul Groves. Gave his usual outrageous dummy. Had the ball knocked out of his hands, and Bradford come up with possession. Well, one of the Bradford left-wing partnership. Looks like Roger Simpson. He did well, he came through there. Finally brought down by a last-ditch tackle from Saints. Harkin on to Hobbs. Short ball, loose ball, well, knocked on, must be. Bradford tried to spread it quickly. Very unlucky there. Quick break, Roger Simpson, I think it was, initially fueling that break. But Skerritt there tried to get it away, and the ball going to ground. So it's a scrum down just inside the Bradford half with Saints. Head and ball, Neil holding to feed. Tremendous pulsating game, 14 points to 10. 17 minutes of the game remaining. Neil holding feeds. Saints come up with the ball. Mark Bailey. Neil holding attacked in half back. On to Andy Platt. Diagonal run from Platt. Runs right into Furbank and Roebuck. And Saints moving upfield. Roy Haggerty looking for the gap, flicks inside. I thought he'd give the pass to Evans, but he gives it to Bailey. Saints keep it going. Tony Burke comes to the left. Noble and Hill take him down right on the Bradford 25. Groves with it. Short ball to Bailey. Brought down centre field. 20 yards from the Bradford line. Groves again. Neil Holding, diagonal grubber through. Obstruction there. Mumby stood right in front of Simpson, I think it was, and Neil Holding couldn't get up to him. But it's Bradford in possession in their own 25. Quarter of an hour of the game remaining. Saints with a 14 points to 10 lead. Paul Rhodes, I think that is, just come on substitute for Heath Godfrey. But it's Brendan Hill taking it over to the left wing, the Bradford left wing on the blind side there. Bradford moving upfield, good play, flicks it out, Simpson again, solid tackle from Watkin, super try-saving tackle, in with the shoulder and right to bangs his man down, but it's on the last tackle. On to Roebuck, but he knocks the ball on. Bradford tried to move it quickly on the last tackle, but Temper's getting a little frayed over there on the far side. A touch judge in from the main stand side. But quarter of an hour of the game remaining. The score still 14 points to 10. It's going to be a scrum down, I think, just inside the Saints half. Ball forward out there with referee Whitfield, Stuart Evans as well, and Furbank. Well, how many times do you have to speak to this Furbank? He had a couple of warnings before. He's obviously been noted for his wild play, and yet he's still gracing our hallowed turf here at Nosey Road. For whatever reason, he's only been on to referee Whitfield. But he's given Bradford the penalty, so sort the bones out of that one. Mumby in possession for Bradford, just inside the Saints half. Pines touch just short of the Saints 25. It's going to be Bradford on the attack, trailing by 14 points to 10. Brian Noble to restart. Hill first man in. Saints defence will have to hold out firm here. Certainly has done all the match. Only that disputed Bradford try just 5 minutes from the interval. Kelvin Skerritt bursting through, feeds it left. Bradford spread it to the right, keep it going. Roebuck onto Phil Ford, turns inside, runs into Neil Holding, bangs him down. Super tackle from Holding. Well, he's on again, this man over here. Just pointed to somebody there in backfield, and the players over here certainly not involved in the field of play, so I don't know what this man's playing at. He's brought Andy Platt over. And Andy Platt nowhere in the proceedings there. Harkin and Groves, both captains. Centre field. Referee Whitfield having a word with both of them, obviously telling both sides to cool it, to calm down. But he's given the penalty to Bradford again. Unbelievable, isn't it? Stiff arm, he's indicating. Quick tap penalty taken by Phil Ford. So it's very alert there. Groves and Holding, hold him out. Another 5 tackles for Bradford to see if they can get across the Saints whitewash. Kelvin Skerritt powering his way towards the Saints line. About 5 yards short now. Noble at dummy half. Takes it left to Brendan Hill. Loose ball. Saints. Roy Haggerty, I think, was down on that loose ball. It was Roy Haggerty. He plays it to himself. Goes on one of his runs. Brilliant play from Saints. Super tackling. Forced the ball out of Hill's hands. And Haggerty down on like a flash. Bradford moving up very quickly. But Saints in possession. They're in their own 25. They're winning by 14 points to 10. And there's 11 minutes remaining. But the ball there, I think it's Hill, comes up with the ball, took the ball off the Saints player. Solid tackling there as Rhodes comes through. Bradford in possession now. 20 yards from the Saints line. Harkin onto Hobbs. Flicks it back up to Mumby. Very enterprising play from Bradford. Heading towards the Saints line. Roebuck trying to scamper through there. One of the Bradford forwards tried to dive over. Last tackle for Bradford. Saints defence holding firm. Well, that's the first changeover of the match. And just 10 minutes from the final hooter. Brilliant display. 25, I should say, in the Saints 25 for the 6 tackles. And the first changeover of the match taking place. It's Mark Healy driving away. Saints up to spread it out now. Neil Holding onto Andy Platt, looking for space. Back to Holding. Knocked down by McGowan. Charged down, very lucky there. That ball, McGowan charged it down. Saints with a 2-man overlap on the left. Well, Paul Loughlin just named as the sponsors man of the match. And Saints just making a substitution now with John Fieldhouse coming on, replacing Stuart Evans. So Paul Farber moving up into the front row. Saints come up with the ball, Holding on the blind side again. Inside to Les Clark. Good play from Saints, quick play the ball wanted. He's lying on the man. Rhodes lying on. Andy Platt up the blind side. There's Rhodes, he lies on again. Well, come on, referee. Wants Andy Platt to get up. But it's still in the lead, 14 points to 10, in possession. Just inside the Bradford half. Mark Healy tried to outpace McGowan up that wing. The ball's released. Knock-on being ruled by referee Whitfield. So scrum down midway between the Bradford 25 and the halfway line. Tremendous cup rugby here. Just about 8 minutes of the game remaining, and Saints just with a slender 4 points lead. Leading by 14 points to 10. Bradford head and ball. Bradford heel it. Saints leading the scrum by 5-4 in this second half. It's Bradford in possession. Mumby. Farber bounces him to the ground. 10 yards outside his own 25. Loose play there from Bradford. It's going to be a scrum down 10 yards from the Bradford 25. Saints head and ball this time. Up to Saints to hoop this ball, put the pressure on Bradford. A try at this time would certainly put the nail in Bradford's coffin and ensure Saints a place in the Premiership final at Old Trafford next Sunday. Saints come up with the ball. Neil Holding. No, it comes out. Mark Bailey tidies up. Does well there. But Paul Rhodes, substitute forward for Bradford, quickly round. Mark Healy, active half-back. Sees the gap, tries to go through, but quickly closed down by Brian Noble. John Fieldhouse, brought down on the 25. Throws it to himself, drives upfield. 20 yards from the Bradford line now. Saints on the attack. Haggerty for the drop goal. Yes! 33 minutes of the second half. Roy Haggerty pops over his 12th drop goal of the season. Saints leading drop goal exponent. Extends Saints lead to 5 points. Saints are going to regain possession with Hobbs having to kick off. 6 minutes of the game remaining. Pulsating rugby, and certainly nobody's going to be leaving this Nosey Road ground early at all. Hobbs kicks off, Barry Ledger takes it. Brought down 5 yards short of the Saints 25 line. John Fieldhouse in now. Fresh man on, and just 10 minutes to go. Good thinking from Alex Murphy. Andy Platt. Both teams played out of the skin, but at least Saints did score their try by fair means. So the ball coming out from the tackle, but the referee saying he's shouted held, and the ball coming out, so therefore a scrum going down 10 yards outside the Saints 25. Saints head and ball, Neil Holding to feed, and Neil Holding picks the ball up the blind side. Work on his outside, but he takes the tackle, he goes in field. Mumby lying all over Holding, but up the blind side, Farber, still going Farber. Solid play from Paul Farber, full 25 yards run, brought down on the Bradford 25. Les Quirk acting half-back, up to Roy Haggerty, left to John Fieldhouse, big gap opens up there. Fieldhouse goes for it, but it soon closes up. Groves gives the dummy, still going, yes! Groves touches down to the left of the sticks. Brilliant work, and that certainly sealed it. That'll be safe place in the Premiership final at Old Trafford next Sunday. And what a man to score it, Paul Groves. Brilliant play for him. Was over for his 9th try of the season. Initial spin work there. Neil Holding again from the scrum. When they play the ball, Saints take it upfield. John Fieldhouse saw the gap. A diagonal run for Fieldhouse, but Bradford closed him down. And from the resulting play the ball, Paul Groves attacked it half-back. One of his outrageous dummies. The Bradford took it, and he drove over just to the left of the sticks. 19 points to 10 now for the Saints, and an easy conversion for Paul Loughlin. Loughlin lining up, composing himself. Kick 5, there's his 6th. So Loughlin adds on the points. That seals Bradford's fate. 21 points to 10. Saints in the lead, and what a time to score with just 5 minutes of the game remaining. Hobbs kicks off. Where is his kick? But the ball's not gone 10 yards. It doesn't go 10 yards. That's a penalty. A penalty from the halfway line. Yes, Loughlin, if he wants, he can have a go for goal, but I think Saints will tap it. Oh, he's going for touch. Hefty kick from Loughlin, right on the Bradford 25, that ball finds touch. So no disputing the result now, just 3 minutes remaining. Bradford trailing by 9 points. Saints in the Bradford 25. Neil Holding to restart, Bradford moving up very quickly. Into the wall, back to Paul Groves, takes it blindside. Tremendous ball there onto Andy Platt, I think that was. Yes, Saints now with the tails up. Sean Allen tidies up. Bounces off one, still driving upfield, Sean Allen. But Rhodes comes in for a second bite of the cherry. Groves again. Back to Haggerty for another go at drop goal. Yes! There's nothing like rubbing salt in the wounds, is there? And Haggerty pops over his second drop goal in 5 minutes. 22 points to 10 now, Saints in the lead. Well, I was only saying a few minutes ago about nobody leaving this Nosey Road ground, but there's a few drifting away now. Obviously the result beyond doubt. Andy Platt, he does well there, takes that ball from the lofty kick-off from Hobbs. Paul Farber pushes one off, brought down on the halfway line. Just a minute and a half of this game remaining. 22 points to 10, Saints in the lead. Groves onto Fieldhouse, coming through at pace. Nearly brought the Bradford defence. Got up again for a second bite, but Hobbs brings him down. Well, impeded there to play the ball. Paul Groves and Harkin penalised. Referee Whitfield right up there and penalised Paul Harkin, so Loughlin is going to have a go at goal. Already kicked 6 this afternoon. About 35 yards out. ...35 yards out and right centre field. Paul Loughlin lining up centre field, 35 yards out. Shouldn't have any problem with this one. Strikes it well. Yes! Right on the full time that. And Loughlin bangs it over. I can also tell you that Widnes are winning by 18 points to 10, so it looks as though Saints will be playing Widnes at Old Trafford next Sunday. Hobbs to kick off, conventional deep kick. Well taken by Sean Allen, he drives upfield, brought down just short of the 25. Paul Groves at dummy half, all on the full-time hooter now. John Fieldhouse in possession. Saints spread it left, Tony Burke. Mark Bailey tapped in half-back. Saints moving it to the right. Neil Holding, lofted pass to Andy Platt. Takes it well. On to Sean Allen. Ledger on his outside. Sean Allen takes the tackle just inside the Bradford half. Good play from Saints, spreading it from on their own line right upfield. Right into the Bradford half now. Neil Holding. Grubbers for touch. Good kick. Francis, can he get back? Richard Francis, yeah, gets the ball. He's right on his own line. The full length of the field to go, but Neil Holding follows his kick up and brings Francis down 10 yards away from his own line. The Saints penalised for offside. Got to play the ball, it's in the Bradford 25 and certainly the result beyond doubt. A resounding 24 points to 10 victory for Saints, just waiting for the full-time hooter now. We played a minute and a half of injury time, obviously that's injury to Dave Tanner, and the clock was stopped. Skerritt just breaks into the Saints half. Harkin, Roebuck, onto Hobbs. Flicks it up there to Skerritt again, I think it is. Roebuck at dummy half for Bradford. Brought down 10 yards short of the Saints 25. It's Bradford still in possession, trailing by 24 points to 10. Brian Noble attacked in half-back. Onto Harkin, scissors movement with Furbank. Hobbs, I think it is, striding into the Saints 25. Solid tackle there. Well, nothing in that tackle. Haggerty bounces his man down. Super tackle. I mean, it is a bodily contact sport. We're not playing tick rugby. And Haggerty certainly into his man there and bounced him down. Nothing wrong with that tackle at all. The Bradford player being treated over there. Clock stopped, but it's all on the full-time hooter. Well, as you regular viewers of the Micron video, the Saints matches will know, this will be the last match of the season for us in the commentating and filming capacity. Unfortunately, they won't allow us to do it at Old Trafford next week. They always fob us off with the finals, but you won't get the excellent commentary that you've had all season. You just have to put up with Ray French instead. But it's Bradford take the tap from the penalty. In the Saints 25, Harkin trying to go through on his own. Solid tackle from Loughlin there, brings him down. Good try-saving tackle from Loughlin. He's been awarded the man of the match, and with tackling like that, who can argue with that? So Saints running out winners by 24 points to 10, and it looks as though we're going to be playing Widnes in the final at Manchester Old Trafford next week. Saints trailing by 10 points to 8 at half-time, just 4 Paul Loughlin penalty goals and a very disputed McGowan try, 5 minutes from the interval converted by Hobbs, 10-8 at half-time. Then Saints came back in the second half, a 4th minute try from Andy Platt, converted by Paul Loughlin, and Saints back in the driving seat at 14 points to 10. Then, till the 33rd minute, complete deadlock. Both teams tackling well, and then Roy Haggerty popped over a drop goal, his first of his 2 this afternoon. Then a Paul Groves try, brilliant individual try from Groves after Saints moved upfield. And then another Haggerty drop goal, and Loughlin finishing off with a dying minutes penalty goal. The final score 24 points to 10. So thanks very much for joining us throughout the season, and we look forward, hopefully, to be joining you next season. So on behalf of myself, Ron Hoof, your regular commentator, your cameraman Brian Pears, I bid you farewell, and I hope we have a good win next week at Old Trafford versus Widnes. Saints head and ball, Neil Holding to feed, and Neil Holding picks the ball up the blind side. Work on his outside, but he takes the tackle, he goes in field. Mumby lying all over Holding, but up the blind side, Farber, still going Farber. Solid play from Paul Farber, full 25 yards run, brought down on the Bradford 25. Les Quirk acting half-back, on to Roy Haggerty, left to John Fieldhouse, big gap opens up there. Fieldhouse goes for it, but it soon closes up. Groves gives the dummy, still going, yes!